Hello, Purple.
Hello, hi.
Hi, it's JC.
Yeah, nice to meet you. I've seen a bunch of your guys' podcasts. Amazing.
Cool, amazing, great. Well, thank you very much for being here today. Um,
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
so, shall I call you Purple or obviously Purple? What do you prefer?
Anything you're comfortable with, but usually people call me by Purple.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, my first question is why Purple?
Oh, that's a great question. Funny story, and I say this everywhere. So like growing up as a kid, so I chose the username when I was a kid. So you know, when I was like 6 or 5, I used to like watch cartoons or whatever. And then there was this one cartoon called My Little Pony, and then there was this one pony that was like purple. So I was just like very in love with the color purple since like seeing visuals and colors and whatever. And now that's where the name came from. Every single username I had purple in it up to leading to 2020, which I was like everybody was calling me purple. So I was like, you know what? It's these were COVID thoughts. I was like, you know what? Obviously purple, because everybody just calls me purple and obviously purple. So it's like, might as well just make it completely like accurate, like completely just obvious.
That's great. What's your Roblox tag?
Obviously purple.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, very cool. Can you tell us a bit about how old are you? When did you start playing Roblox? When did you start developing on Roblox? What are your skills, favorites, stuff? Uh, Go on.
Yeah, for sure. To begin, I recently just turned 20, so and I began playing Roblox around 2015, 14 as a guest player, and it how it happened was I was like back then like these 3DS and 2DS Nintendos had these Pokemon games, and I was like and went searching up if I could play it online or whatever. And then Roblox popped up. It was the Pokemon games back then that was very popular on Roblox. So I started playing as a guest, and I didn't make an account for like I think it was like months, like so many months. And then suddenly there was this like Roblox started getting more popular, and more people started talking about it in school and whatever back then. And I was like, okay, time to make an account. And I made an account. And I believe the first game I played as on my account was Beep City, which was a very popular game back in the day. And yeah, I started that, and then it started leading up to like more games like Bloxburg and stuff. And that's where my development thoughts of like getting into development started, when I saw like Bloxburg gave you the opportunity to like build your own house, have your own furnitures in and whatever. And I was like, and then I saw Roblox advertising the same thing, because back then when you would join a game, they would advertise that. And I got into it, and back then obviously I would just like go into toolboxes and put models on a base blade and pretend I was like, woohoo, look at what I created. And that would be my thought process. And then leading up, I slowly started like watching YouTube videos about programming, and I never understand anything about programming even to this day. And I just like copied them and like followed that, and I was like, okay, you can program, you can make games. And then I signed up for a Twitter account, because when I started the like knowing more about Twitter and stuff, I saw that a bunch of like Roblox devs were like back then even were on Twitter, but it was a bit harder to get noticed then, because the community was smaller and popular devs were at the top, and there was no medium or low and whatever. And that's where I got introduced to Asimo 3089,
All
who's
right.
like my favorite builder, a
Yeah.
very good builder. Um, yeah, he was like he had a Twitter account and whatever, and then I like saw it and I got inspired by his Twitter account. It was really cool that he like interacted with players. I was like, I want to do that one day. Like that'd be very cool. And so I started from Twitter, and then I started posting things, and then eventually found a team, which then led into like controversies and whatever. And It's definitely a mistake I made in my path to getting here. It was definitely, but it was also a good learning lesson as well. So what that team was is basically they would like um use assets from like other projects and stuff and like build games off them and stuff and whatever. Back then, even today, like that's considered like a really bad thing to do. So it started that like that, and then eventually I moved on from that and I completely rebranded myself and started completely solo. And then in 2020 I found my business partner, Masony 2. He goes by Masony 2 on Roblox. He um he he's a programmer. He's a great programmer. We built this project called The Voyage, which never came out, but yeah, that's where how it happened. And then all that 2 years in 2020 leading up here, connections were built, Roblox noticed me and all of that. And currently I work as a builder. I know building, I do graphic design, I do UI design, and animating recently been one of the things I've been getting into lately from since 2022. Yeah, that's how everything happened. And then up to leading to 2022, I got invited to RDC, which I then met like so many of my so many of the like creators that I played their game as a kid, which was like so fascinating. I like made connections with Dave, Builder Man on Roblox. It was a great opportunity. It was fun. Yeah.
Well, that's great. So, are you involved with Asimo and his games like Jailbreak or?
So so how this happened was in 2020 I got more connected to with him. Eventually became like Discord mutuals and stuff, and like we talked and whatever. It was really great. It's still shocking to me to this day that I had that kind of a connection. And how it happened was every time like he would share with us something, we would comment or feedback or give him ideas, and he would always like value that. And then eventually there's something came in named community creations on their Reddit page. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna make an alt, and for fun I'm just gonna submit something. And then I submitted, and it got into one of their biggest update, which was their live event for like their birthday, the game's birthday, which introduced a whole new like side of the map, which was a huge update, got like so many players. And so that happened, and it was great. And after that, Asimo just kept his connection and interactions with me by involving himself in my projects, like one as of recent, Minecraft Valley, which was my recent project, which came out December of 2022. But it was teased last year at around August, like 2021, and where was October, somewhere around there. And he like noticed it, and he was like, "Oh, that looks like great, good job, Purple." I was like, "Thank you," and stuff. And then this on December of 2022, on the week of release date, I started teasing that I was gonna put a project out, and Asima was gonna re-release his project on the same day that I was, but then no saw that I was like releasing a project that day, so he announced that I have a project coming out, and so he removed his release date for me and RB Battles, which was, yeah, RB Battles also happened to be on the day I was releasing. I was like,
Okay.
great, more like this is it was definitely like a pressure. And then something happened that RB Battles also delayed. I was like, okay, like things are slowly moving ahead, like for good. And then yeah, Simo moved his release date, and I was like, okay, like that's awesome. I was so thankful and still grateful for that. Then suddenly he starts advertising my project on his Twitter page constantly, liking, retweeting, quote retweeting. I was like, okay, this is definitely building up some pressure. Like, but it was like really fun to see that a developer that I looked up to ages is like looking, now looking at my projects and supporting them.
Hmm.
And it's been continuous. It's been a really cool journey. And I feel like there's just so much to I want to do so much on the platform, And like I just feel like this is like the beginning of something new, I guess. Yeah.
Your profile picture looks like a tribute to Simo.
Yeah, so growing up as of to like getting 2019 and stuff, I had like fan arts and stuff. It was great. And I built my avatar inspired by his. And then it started changing and changing and forming its own ways, but also resemblance to my IRL look, which like the beard and the face and the whatever. And my favorite color is white. So this was actually a fan art drawn by a community member who's also a friend of mine, Archwell Neon. Yeah, he's a
Okay,
really cool, good artist. Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
So you are studying at university right now, right?
Yes. Yeah, as a part-time, yeah.
So are you part-time on Roblox, part-time at university? How do you manage
Full time.
both?
So it's something. It's definitely something when you're working with a corporation as well. Luckily, I am like very thankful that the people I work with, the company that I work with currently is GameFam, and they're so respectful and so like they value your time and scheduled, and they are okay with whatever whenever you work and whatever, which is great. And has helped me a lot. So how that works is I have 2 days that I go to uni in like a week, and then I don't work exactly those 2 days. But when I come back, sometimes I get on, and so it's currently a part-time thing. But Roblox is full-time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you study at uni?
Graphic design.
Oh, cool. So,
Yeah.
um, did you choose this because of your Roblox history? And what's your career path? Uh, if I mean, if you know, yeah.
Right. Yeah, so graphic how graphic design happened because when you're a Roblox developer, you pick up side projects on the side roles, I should say. Like making thumbnails, making icons, doing trailers for marketing, unless you have a specific team for that. And I didn't, so I got into it myself, and that's how it happened. That's how I found the passion for graphic design, and then I slowly moved it away from Roblox as well and started making concept arts and stuff like that with like digitally. And that's how my graphic design passion was found. And no, I think my path is currently, I see it as Roblox, but I'm also determined that if this weren't to work out, I would have a second plan B, which would be the graphic design path.
Okay. And what do you think of generated AI content and assets in Roblox? Like,
Generated AI content, so Chat GPT and
yeah, yeah. I mean, Roblox is testing right now, but will release soon um, a way to build using some text. So you just text to the in-house AI, and it will generate some content.
yeah, we've seen that. Yeah, it's great that they're finally sharing that. So there's a bunch of controversies and thoughts going on about this. Is that it's either too good to be true, or it's going to be the definitely a switch of game in terms of like switch of roles for so many people that are working as 3D artists and programmers and whatnot. It does open doors, but it also closes doors for those that are getting into development currently and have no so, because if everybody gets the way to generate things and just go about it that way instead of hand created and created yourself, it creates a huge, I believe I see it as a huge problem, but I also see it as a huge like it has pros and cons. The pros are, well, yeah, you get to like bring your idea and dream to life or to Roblox. And the cons of it would be for those that are currently working as 3D artists and commit like they're commissioning, like if they're a programmer or builder and stuff, they would lose their job basically is what would happen because then you can just generate it for free. But I do have a different thought process on AI, which is something I use, which is Chat GPT. I use that to like write description and find game titles or game pass descriptions and stuff for my games. And I think that a lot of people like need to use Chat GPT to build off on their idea rather than generate ideas, if that makes sense. Like have something to start with rather than just generate it out of nowhere, if that makes sense. If that makes sense.
So, can you tell me a bit more about the minecart value game?
Yeah. So I have a thing for like minecarts and tracks and caves, especially caves. Like every project I've built and made, it has to had to do with terrain, just so I can add some caves into it, just because they're so fun to work with, especially with the new future lighting.
Mm,
Um, yeah, future lighting is amazing and it's insane. So yeah, it's really it's made it really fun to work with caves. So I was like, it's been a dream project to bring it to life. I started on I believe it was like 2 years ago, May, and I started like working on it for 2 weeks, and then I left it there because I had so many other projects coming up, and I completely forgot about it. And then the main idea of the project was just have this cool cave area with different caves moving forward with different biomes and different meshes and completely like not realistic but cartoonish and realistic mixed together,
okay.
and just to showcase what Roblox can do at that time. And because at that time they also recently like they also released like custom materials, which was a big thing at around when it came out, and it still is. So what that would do is we get to like replace materials that Roblox provided us for years with something new and make our games look completely different than everybody else's and whatever. And yeah, when that happened, it was just great. So then I started like going around about it and started like sketching ideas and stuff to see what I can do than just having minecarts go. I was like, okay, how about this? Let's have like a minecart project where minecart game where you write minecarts and eventually you get to like buy more carts to have like behind you and keep upgrading that. And that was just the idea. And moving forward, last October, I reached out to a friend, II Coconut XO, who's a great programmer. He was like, okay, I'll jump on the project and help you finish it. And it was just like a commission thing. And then he ended up like staying full time, which was great because the project turned into something else. So right now the project is you start as only having one minecart with like no options of customization, and then you mine things around, and then you like pack them and then put them inside your minecart, and then you'll go to different biomes and deliver it, and you'll get XP, and by leveling up you get to unlock different biomes and look at different things and access different shops and customize your minecart, like the flames, the color, like the body of it. You get to like another cool feature that we have is what you can do is you can shoot out of your minecarts. We have weapons on our minecarts where you can shoot the other players as they're on the cart getting to deliver things. And so you could stop them from getting up to the leaderboard and higher than you, basically. It's like a competitive type project. And we're building off on that. And it's been a great time to it's been a great time to bring the project to life. And it was never meant to be like popular. It was just a dream project that I wanted to just be out for myself to play here and there. And I shared it with Twitter and they liked it. So I was like, okay, let's just go about it and release it professionally. And that's what we did.
Well, I didn't play the game, but I watched a YouTube video and I thought that it was uh, really great to have so much like how can I say a joyful atmosphere, even though you're in a cave. You know, because some grass is somewhere here and there, and lots of colorful lights and colors of the stones, and so I thought because my first thought was, well, if you're all the way long in a cave, you maybe it drives you crazy at some point, but
Yeah.
not at all. I mean, it looks really great. It looks really cool.
Yeah, we're introducing it in the next few updates where you can get out of the cave and eventually go underwater and go to temples and all of that.
Oh,
There's big
really?
ideas
Okay.
for it. Yeah, yeah. We just don't want to keep it in the cave forever. And our it's not exactly only in the cave. Our third biome introduces a cave which has an open space of looking up, and then at the end of the game, where at the end of the current biome, I guess, you get out to this big sky area where there's like waterfalls and it's just like nature everywhere, and it's great. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's
A podcast I saw earlier was like, as someone said, 50% lighting. The game is 50% lighting. I 100% agree. I think it's more than just 50% lighting. Because a lighting can really bring out your game to like, even though I always say this, majority of Roblox players play on low graphics just because slow PCs and whatever. At the end of the day, when presenting the game in thumbnails and marketing and stuff, game lighting is really, really important because that gives you the first impression of what the game is going to look like and the feels and the vibes of it and the mood you'll get inside the game or you'll feel inside the game.
yeah, true. Um, is you're involved in another game, right?
Yeah, two games. One is an NDA project, which I am not allowed to talk about yet, but it's all under GameFam.
Okay.
Another game that I recently got, I had the pleasure to get on board with them because they requested, is called Rhythm City.
Yep.
I'm a builder on it. Recently, this Rhythm City was had a partnership with the Super Bowl and had a rapper do a performance in the game, which was also great. Very, very cool. And now, yeah, I'm just working on Rhythm City and Minecart Value and just a bunch of showcases that I want to start eventually when uni terms are over. That's basically where it's heading currently.
Okay, great. So we'll all play minecart value
Oh, thank you.
because it's really cool.
Yeah,
Um,
thanks.
is there any um, projects in the next month, or I mean, or even though there is no timing, just something you would love to do in the future?
Yeah, so my long-awaited project that I was talking about earlier, The Voyage, which has been in progress for almost 3 years now, is on
Yeah.
pause currently, and we've currently gathered a whole entire team. It was at first it was just me and my programmer and a bunch of people we commissioned, and it was really hard to get content out because we dealt with bugs, a lot of it too, and it wasn't doing well in testing. So I do want to get that out. It's one of my because even today I get tweets like, "Where is it? Like And then on our Discord is like pinging us like, "Where is it?" And I have to like explain to them. So it's definitely something that people have been requesting, and I really love to get it out eventually and start updating that. Um, but as of a month, I think like updates, just updates for both Minecraft Value and the projects I've been working on. I think
Yep.
that's
So
where it's headed.
the void, it do you have any screenshots or
I
stuff
do, yeah.
to share? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll share them afterwards if that's.
Yeah, yeah, cool. Of course.
Yeah, it's
Um,
an RPG project. Built the entire map, took 4 months. I rebuilt the map like 4 times. It was, yeah, it started scratch for every single one and used custom assets that I also modeled every single times I revamped the map. It was, yeah, it was interesting because how
so
that
why
happened
did
was
you do that? Because it was not good enough in your opinion, or
no, so what would happen is we would do testing and testing would go wrong and my programmers would be fixing bugs in the background and it was 2020 COVID time and I had nothing to do. So I go on a base play and I start something fresh and suddenly I'm following the void style and something new just pops up. I'm like, hey, Masonry, we're gonna use this map as our next map. And then 4 months later, this the same pattern repeats again. And then 4 months later, the same pattern repeats again. And our testing was like, testers were like, you need to like stop doing this. Like it's just too much now. Yeah,
Yeah.
because every time like the map kept on getting bigger and bigger, like every time I rebuild it, and every people were like at this point, you guys need to add horses or some transportation because the
Oh,
game
yeah.
is around the 1400s era. So
Okay.
yeah, which was a recent update that we were working on, but then like things came up for both my partner and then myself, and so that's we put it on pause for now.
Okay. So
Yeah,
maybe a new game for 2023. Who knows?
hopefully, yeah.
Yeah. Well, cool. Dubbit is building a platform that we call
Mhm.
builders.io. And this platform is meant to all developers. So Roblox, but also Fortnite or Zepeto, or I mean, other platforms that we work on. And the main thing is that builders can go on the platform and we take care of all the boring stuff. We take care of the contracts, we take care of everything, because we know that you guys are, most of you are freelance, and millions of builders around the world are building already on Roblox. And if you add Fortnite and Zepeto and Minecraft, and it's like millions and millions. So
Yeah.
um, because it's boring, and you need to have like legal skills and stuff. How can you have legal skills when you're 16? I mean,
Yeah.
who who has legal skills when he's 16? Um,
Yeah.
maybe a freak. Uh, so yeah, that's what we want to do, is to connect builders together, but in a secured platform, and to connect them with brands and sponsors, etc., etc. So the main idea is, as you said, the Roblox dev forum was not great for the last couple of years. um,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's pretty much the same everywhere. So you have Reddit, you have Discord, you have Twitter. Uh, People are connected, but it's a bit of a mess. So the general idea is to get this platform so everybody can come and securely get some job.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's a great thing that you guys are doing. I think it's very needed because right now they introduced something named the Talent Hub. It's not doing it.
Yeah, I know.
It's not doing it. It has definitely some work that needs to be done on it. A lot of work. And we've been telling them the same for the web page where you discover games. It's just the new layout is insane and kind of crazy and kind of just weird. I guess the thing is because we're OG developers and OG people on the platform, we just got used to the old look, and maybe the new people that see it as their first impression rather it this way than what we rather, because generation changes and everything changes, preferences changes and all of that. So I see why they did that, but I think it's like
Yeah. Um, So I'm not an OG because I discovered Roblox in 2020, so that was very late. But what I can say is it's great to move on with more detailed graphics, etc. But it needs to be handy, and it needs to be uh, better to use every day, and also for a user. I mean, if you're just a player, it has to be more user friendly. Uh, the UGC catalog, for example, is
yeah,
well, I mean, even though you have a link to a new GC item, sometimes you just can't find it because I mean, is it an accessory? Is it on the back? Is it on the head? It's a bit crazy. So
Yeah.
I think I know that they know this, and obviously they need to prioritize on, yeah, you know, you can't do everything at the same time, but I mean, yeah, that's one of the points of the builders platform, is to help all of this. Like, for example, our guys in house will test all the AI generators, like for 3D items and etc., and will tell you this one is the best to do some modeling. This one is the best to do some I don't know, vehicles moving, uh, whatever. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, yeah.
it's like a it's like a public place where people can hang out, get the news and best information, and team up to build new games, and also connect with brands so they can make building games on Roblox for a living.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Yeah, I agree with every single thing you said. I just, I
Great.
just hope that they listen to the community more moving forward.
Well,
Developer community.
yeah, I think they do listen. Well, they are aware of this, and they do know
Oh yeah.
what they need to do. It's just how long does it take to, because Roblox is so big now, you know,
Yeah.
to move things. But we at Dubbit and Builders, the same company, um, like we are of course like a preferred partner at Roblox, because we have developed so many experiences for big brands,
Yeah.
and concerts, and well, pretty much like GameFam. So uh, we obviously speak very often, like several times per day, with Roblox team, and think I think that it takes maybe longer than we expect, but things will get better.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. We've been getting emails and such, and they've been sharing things with us. It's just, but the problem is that every time they come and update something, something else goes wrong, or something gets updated in the system, or a system gets updated, like Windows or Mac and whatever, and
Mm.
that creates an issue in their like release. That's what I was told at RDC when I like brought up the fact that Mac users are kind of struggling right now because of the new chip, the Apple Silicon chip. It's not Roblox compatible.
Oh, really?
So it's yeah, so it's kind of a lot to think about because like in Blender, like it has a more stronger engine and you like render things in and it does it within like couple of minutes. And then in Roblox Studio, you can't have more than two files open. That's kind of the it's yeah, it's just a struggle, yeah.
Well, Purple, thank you so much. Um,
Yeah, of
would
course.
would you like to add something else, or shall we? Uh,
Yeah, that's all. I just want to say thank you for having me. It was a pleasure talking on the podcast. A really fun podcast giving.
well, thank you so much, and very, very cool to have you on board. And we'll spread the word about um, minecart value, of course.
Oh, thank you. Yes,
So,
thanks so
see
much.
see you soon. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, yeah, thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.